She's a diamond. She's a diamond girl. She's a diamond. Diamond, diamond, diamond.
Hi YouTube, it's Princess Diamond. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to share with you guys 8 tips on how to perfect your braids to have them looking clean, neat, and even. And this is for my beginners. So this is for the ones who've already learned how to do a 3-strand braid or box braids, but they're still struggling to get their braids to look neat. So tip number 1 for you guys is to use product. Use product while you are braiding. This is to lay the hairs down, and this will prevent the amount of flyaways you'll have sticking out of your braids, which will make your braids look a lot neater. So this Shine and Jam here in the orange container tends to be the most popular for a lot of braiders, and it's definitely my go-to. It works with a lot of different texture. This is the extra hold, but Shine and Jam also has this one here in the purple container. I personally have not used it before, but just wanted to share with you guys to show that there are other options. Shine and Jam also has this red jar. Now this one I definitely love because it works so well with coarse, thick hair because of its thicker consistency, but this one is a lot more pricier, so do with that as you will. Another product you can use is this Murray's beeswax, and again, this is just for when you're braiding your hair down, so this is not just for parting. This is for when you're braiding your hair down to make it look more smooth and neater. Another product that you can use is this Lock and Twist. Now this really is for like molding down the hair, but I wanted to put it in here anyways because this is still a really good product and it's a lot more pricier. So again, do with that as you will, but I tend to use that more for like bigger braids when I'm doing feed-in braids to again mold down the hair. My second tip is to use the right amount of braiding hair. You don't want your braiding hair amount to be much bigger than your natural hair or much smaller. Having your hair, the braiding hair, be a lot more bigger can cause a lot of tension. It can even cause headaches on your client. And as you guys can see in what I used to do a long time ago, it makes the hair, the result, not even look as good. So this just looks like a helmet compared to like this, what I do now. So you want to make sure again that you are matching the natural hair to the braiding hair. Tip number 3 is to braid tight. Now I know this is one that a lot of you guys are struggling with, so what I would suggest to help you braid tighter is to have a firmer grip on the strands or the hair, and then also to have your hands or finger placement be up and close to the braid rather than down further apart. But braiding tighter will just make your braids look a lot neater. It's also going to allow your braids to last longer versus if you just braided it looser. To me, I feel like braiding tight makes the hair look better. Unless the looser look is what you're going for, then you can just completely ignore that tip. Tip number 4 is to use good braiding hair. Back in the day, I used to use like this shiny, soft, textured braiding hair, and my braids just didn't look right, and I didn't really understand why. And then when I would dip it in hot water, the braids would immediately unravel. And again, I didn't understand why. I thought it was just that I wasn't braiding tight, but no, it was just the braiding hair that I was using. So here's some braiding hair recommendations. This Raw hair is a really good brand to use. You can expect your braids to come out looking very beautiful with this brand. This hair is pre-stretched, meaning it's pre-feathered, so you don't have to spend a lot of time with tapering the hair. And it is also hot water set, which means that you can seal the ends of the braids when they are dipped in hot water so that the braids do not unravel. And it also softens the braids when it's exposed to heat so they aren't so stiff. Another good brand is this Model Glance Formation braiding hair. And just like the other one, this one is also hot water set, so you can dip this one in hot water as well without the braids being unraveled, just to seal the ends of your braids. And then this one is also pre-stretched. And then who would I be if I didn't recommend my own braiding hair, Princess Diamond and Company? You can check out my website. The link will be posted in the description below. But I do sell braiding, I do sell blends in some solid colors as well as a couple ombre colors. This one is vermilion. This one here is sandy. And then, like I said, I have some ombre colors. So this is the Ombre 1B3027. My braiding hair is also pre-stretched, hot water setting, and antibacterial, so check it out. Tip number 5 is to tuck the natural hair. Now, if you don't know how to tuck, I do have a separate video that goes in depth, so you can check that one out. I'll link it above as well as in the description. But I showed you guys with a different color braiding hair just to demonstrate that the natural hair is hidden within the braid, so you can't see it. But this helps with limiting the amount of frizz that will show when you're braiding, and it makes the braid look neater. Now, some people may comment and say they just like the natural look of the natural hair peeking out. Now, that's your preference, but again, with tucking, it will make your braid look neater. It will limit the flyaway hairs, which will allow your braids to last longer, not only look better. Tip number 6 is to braid with even strands. This is for the natural hair as well as for the braiding hair. You want to make sure that your strands are even. Now, this is the issue that I see with a lot of newer braiders when their braids look knotted up, lumpy, bumpy. It's because your strands of hair are not even. So make sure that the sections that you're grabbing for your natural hair is even, and then also the sections that you are separating for your braiding hair is even. So what I always suggest is when you're sectioning off the braiding hair, you want to take off 1/3 of it. And so when you take off that 1/3 of it, you're going to take that smaller section and put it together, and then that's going to give you your 3 sections to allow it to be even. Now I'm going to show you an example of how your braids may look if your strands are not even. Now you can tell that that strand that I took off was a lot smaller than 1/3 of it, so it left that 3rd strand to be much smaller than the other 2 strands. So keep watching. You guys are going to see what the ending braids look like. So this is what I was talking about with the braids being lumpy, looking bumpy. These braids are not even at all. Okay, so let's do it again, this time making sure that our sections are even, or as even as possible. Now you can see that the 3 strands here are even, and the 3 strands on the client's hair are even. Now I'm going to show you guys what you can do if you've already started the braid and then you notice that the strands are not even, because you can feel it. You don't always have to take it down and redo it. Sometimes what you can do is you can get away with just borrowing some of that hair. So taking a little piece of hair from the bigger strand and putting it over to the smaller strand, and then you can just continue with the braid without having to restart it, because that can be time consuming. But you guys see how noticeably better it looks when your strands are even. So the braid on the right is what you want to aim for, and try to stay away from letting your strands of hair be uneven. If you can feel that the strands are even, do it again. Tip number 7 is to use a comb to smooth out your strands. Now you don't always have to do this. You don't have to do it throughout the entire braid. You may not even have to do it on every braid, but when you notice that your hair is getting tangly, when you notice that it's getting really frizzy, you want to apply that Shine and Jam and use your comb to smooth out your strands of hair. So that way your braids come out looking smoother and looking better. And then for the final tip for you guys, tip number 8 is to practice. Practice. And I know this is something that you guys don't want to hear, because a lot of you want to be able to take all 7 of those tips and go and apply all of them and be able to just master your braids immediately. But as you guys can see, like, it takes practice. Even the braids that I used to do years ago, you can see that my braids looked neat. They looked clean, but I still wasn't doing something right. So it took me a lot of time, a lot of practice, a lot of trial and error to figure out what was right and what wasn't right. And then another thing that I'll say for you guys is that you can take all of these tips and still not master your braiding, because you're using someone else's technique that is not natural to you. And that's why practicing is so beneficial if you want to do anything right, really. You know, you have to practice practice and you have to figure out what's working for you and what is not working for you, because someone may show you how to grip hair, how to start a box braid, and that's the only thing you're relying on and trying to do, and it's not working because it just is not natural for you. So you have to practice. You have to figure out what comes natural for you, what will work for you. So figure out the braiding style that's best for you and just practice and apply these tips. Give yourself some time and don't be so hard on yourself. Stop comparing your work to someone else's work. Instead, compare your past work to your current work, because I guarantee you that you can see a difference in what you used to do and what you're doing right now. And your only goal should be to better yourself, not to be better than the next person, but to be better than what you were before. And so that's what I have for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys be blessed. Stay protected, stay filled with love and peace. If you like this video, if it helped, please, you guys don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and also turn on your bell notification. I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.